Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. All things Middle Earth here at the video looking at the plug and play viability of different heroes in Middle Earth. We did a tier list just the other day looking at all the characters in the game. We ranked them here on the tier list, as you can see, Balrog tier through the Dustbin tier. And I wanted to cover some of my favorites in the top couple of tiers so you can know who to invest in if you're wondering who you should go for next after you've completed your teams. These characters are probably more future-proof than other characters in the game because they have so much viable use in really any team you want them to be used in. So if you're a little bit unsure what the future, the game's changing every month, every week sometimes with updates. These are ones who are a little bit safer to invest in. So stay tuned. We're going to cover a few of these in just 1 second. All right, starting out, we're going to go through these things in order that they were ranked on the tier list. Now, a lot of these are very close, so it's not really worth splitting hairs in my opinion, but we will start with the ones that are higher on the list. We're going to talk about 7 here that rank in the Balrog A and B tier. We're going to talk about why they have plug and play viability for really any teams you want to use them in. The first one up is going to be Ugluck. Ugluck has 2 abilities that really make him very annoying to deal with, and that is his Onslaught and Dirty Work abilities. Onslaught inflicts blind. There's really not a lot to say about it. If you have blind, you miss the next attack you take. This used strategically is seriously a game changer. So definitely one that's worth using on him. He's usually pretty quick actually, so he goes sometimes first and inflicts blind, and then a big AoE character like Ironhide may go, and they'll miss an attack. So it's very, very useful to use Onslaught very strategically, but it's a fun one there. The next one is Dirty Work, which includes a Disable, also a team up attack with Mauer if you're using him as well. So they're a good pair to use, although he's not ranked on here. We're not talking about him today. But Disable means that the enemy can only use basic attacks. So again, limiting, so you're not getting AoEs or not getting hit with your own disables or blinds or whatever it is. So he's one that is fantastic and could fit as a 5th into most lineups and see very good success. Like I mentioned, Mauer is a great one with him, so if you're looking for a pair, that Isengard duo is fairly good. And Mauer is actually tied for the 2nd highest damage in the game with several characters, but he's definitely a heavy hitter. So if you need a pair, they're definitely a duo to consider. Now, someone else that you might be using in your Lord Elrond team if you have him, but if you don't have him, Rowan is a great plug and play character. The big reason being that she has the Light of Rivendell ability, which is going to grant Nimble anytime a teammate drops below 50% health the first time. So it just means everyone basically gets a free attack that they have to use. So whether it's an AoE or they individually take him out, whatever it is, this is something that's very, very important. The thing is, they're not going to all be triggered at one time, most likely. They'll have to go through and take these out one at a time. So it's very annoying. She also has a mass cleanse for the whole team, which can be very nice if someone does get blinded or disabled or whatever it is that we're going to be talking about a lot of these characters having. She's someone who can cleanse all that off your team. So she's a very good character to have in the back line to help keep things clean, keep people topped off, all that kind of stuff. So definitely consider using R1, especially if you don't have Elrond. He's a good plug-in character as well. Now, if you're playing this game, it should be no secret that some of the Rohan team is very, very good. The trio specifically, so a few of them, actually all of them are on this list. We're going to talk about 2 today. The first one being Eothane. The big thing I want to highlight here is his Show of Strength ability, which is an AoE, which is very good. But the thing I like about this is the counterattack that he gives out to the entire team. At the max level, it is going to grant counterattack to everyone on your team. So then if your team gets AoE'd by someone else, then everyone on your team is going to counterattack and hopefully take out that hero that attacked you. So a counterattack that's given out to everyone is pretty crazy, and definitely one of those things that if you don't get him taken out early, that will be very annoying to deal with later. So Eothane's definitely a great plugin, whether using him with Rohan or just by himself. It's very, very good. Eowyn's another one I wanted to highlight. Now, she's usually used in a leadership capacity, which is not a bad thing for her, but you might use her in a background capacity as well. There are 2 abilities I like on her. The first one being her Valiant Protector, which at the 5th level is going to grant might to the entire squad. So that's fantastic. Everyone's going to deal very much increased damage by 50%. And then it's going to call the ally with the highest damage to assist. So if you're using a high damage lineup with someone like a Eomer, who's also tied for the 2nd highest damage in the game, she's going to call him to assist on most occasions, dealing a lot of damage. And everyone's going to have might, so all their next hits are going to be pretty big. So she's a fantastic one that really supports the team in addition to leading the Rohan team occasionally, but she could be used as a just plug-in character as well. On top of all that, she also has the Break the Cage ability, which is going to inflict disable on the target enemy. So again, disable is just a very good ability that allows you to kind of control what abilities your enemy can use or cannot use. So having that with her call to assist, the increased amount, all that stuff, she's very good. Again, as a great leader with Rohan, but she could be one that down the road, you've already built her up with Rohan, but then you end up using the other characters somewhere else or not using them. She might fit in nicely somewhere that you didn't expect. Now, these lastly, we're dipping down into the B tier, but there's some of my favorites as well, or some that have very interesting kits that you might not be aware of. The first one is Azak. He is absolutely phenomenal, in my opinion. One of the harder hitting characters in the game. His ability, Pull the Weak, is one of the only abilities in the game that can do this, so it's very, very interesting. But first of all, it's a very heavy hitting ability. At the max level, it's going to deal 420% damage, and it's going to allow him to ignore taunts and provokes and attack the most wounded character. So if you're ever attacking someone, then a taunt happens or provoke happens and you can't get there to finish off that character, he can come in, totally bypass that and take this character out. And most times he does because he hits ridiculously hard. So he is one that's seriously so fun to use. I use him on the Isengard team, but honestly, I'd plug him into most lineups just because he deals so much damage and he's a lot of fun. The last two are also usable in a pair, and it's Pippin and Mary we're going to look at. First of all, Mary, the big thing here is just his heal that he has. He's going to heal the entire squad here, and it's going to do some cleansing before the heal at the 4th level. So a cleanse with a heal is pretty fantastic with him. He also has a might grant. So at the max level here, this voted life of the party grants might to all squad members. So something very, very good for the team. It's very supporting for the team. So he is fantastic. And we're going to look at Mary as well, because when they're paired together, they're even better. But Mary, I think, is a little bit overlooked, and I think he could have use, especially in the future of the game, with his marked ability. Now, his keen eye ability, it says dispel 1 boon from the target, which is great. Boon dispels are great, and inflict marked on the target for 1 turn. So marked means that you are forced to attack them. So anytime you're trying to attack someone, and maybe they have another taunt or a provoke or whatever, you can just focus this on, for example, Lord Elrond. Then even if they have Eladin who ends up provoking, you'll still be able to attack Elrond as long as he has this marked on him. So a marked is very, very good. He also at the 5th level is going to dispel 3 boons, and at the 4th level is going to guarantee a call to assist. So call to assist with mark and 3 boon dispels. Then he has some other things that grant haste or grant stamina to other allies. So again, especially when paired with Pippin, he's very, very good, but he's one who could actually have some use in lineups by himself as well. So a very kind of, I think, underwhelming one, but one who I think has an interesting mechanic that we could see being very useful in the future. But that'll do it for our list of 7 heroes who are used fantastically as plug-and-play characters. Now, again, there's lots of them. We have several, up to, I think, 13 in just the Balrog and A tier. This image will be posted down in the description below, so if you want to look at this later and see who else is on the list. Honestly, anyone in the B tier and up definitely has some viability, and you could probably make some arguments for the C tier, although I didn't find them as useful. And we did it on live stream, and there was kind of agreement that some of the ones down in the C tier were a little bit more underwhelming, but the ones in the B tier and up really do have some viability. If you're wondering who to invest in next, who might be a little bit safer, who could be used not only in their own teams, but in other teams whenever you might need them to do so, the ones in the B tier and up would definitely be worth considering. So this is linked down below if you want to use it, but that'll do it for me in this video. Let me know down below what video you'd like to see next. If you'd like to see a video looking at the different duos or trios in the game or whatever it is, I love to hear your feedback, but that'll do it for this one, and I'll see you guys in a future video.